Hello and welcome to the Salesforce Hub. Today I'm going to tell you about public groups, and I'm going to divide this topic into 3 points, that are what public groups are, what they are used for, and how to implement it in Salesforce. So let's begin. Now let's see the definition of public groups. Public groups consist of a set of users. Yes, public groups only have certain users, and these are created to group users who have different profiles. Yes, like whenever you want users to be grouped together who have different profiles or different who cannot be grouped together in any other way, and you want them to be grouped together just to create a certain set of users, or certain defined or consistent set of users. In that situation, you will create a public group. Now let's see that what this public group is used for. As you know that public groups are used to group certain users. But why do we need to group certain users who have different profiles? So let's see the reason. We can group those users so that we can be that group can be used in sharing rules to share the records. Whenever you want to share a record using sharing rules, you need to specify that with which users you want to share share those records. In that situation, what you can do is you can add single users, roles and subordinates. Or what you can do is you can create a public group, and inside that public group keep all those users, or group all those users together who you want with whom you want to share those records using sharing rules. So public groups are can be used with sharing rules to share the records. This is the first use of public groups. Now let's see what the second one is. They can be used in Salesforce knowledge. Yes, public groups can be used with Salesforce knowledge also, but for that we need to know a little bit about Salesforce knowledge, so I'm not going deep into that. So we are going to switch to the third point, and that is can be used in reports and dashboards folders to give access to reports and dashboards present in them. Okay, so you must be knowing that reports and dashboards, like access to reports and dashboards, are controlled by the folders in which they are. So if you have if you want to see this report, you should have the access to the folder in which this report is. So if you want to share the access of a particular folder with certain types of users or with certain group of users, there also you can create a public group and share all those records with all the people or all the users inside that public group. So these are all the uses which we have with public groups. Not the uses of public groups, but these are the benefits of using public groups. Now let's see that how we can create a public group in Salesforce. But before that, let's see that what public groups can have. Only users or something else. We know that public group consists of users, but they can also have roles and subordinates, and other public groups. Let me explain it to you. Public groups, they can include users, but when we include a role into it, then all the users who are set to that role gets automatically included into that public group. For example, if you want to include all the users who are on sales executive role, then you don't have to explicitly find out each and every user. You just simply enter the role into this public group, sales executive, and all the users who are on that particular role will automatically get included into this public group. And the third one is roles and subordinates. Okay, you you have already understood that what happens when we insert a role into a public group. But when you insert a role and subordinate, what that means is that the users in that role and all the users below that role in the role hierarchy will be included into this public group. So whenever you add a role and subordinate into a public group, all the users who are on that particular role and all the users who are below that particular role in the role hierarchy will automatically get included into that public group. And the fourth and the last point is other public groups. A public group can have another public group also. So now let's see that how we are going to create a public group in Salesforce. Now let's create a public group in Salesforce, but which public group we are going to create. So I have an example for that. We are going to create a public group in which which will consist of all the users who are developing business for our organization, who are actually working as business developers, or who are actually working as marketers, or sales executives who are basically developing a business, and especially of North America. Not all the users, but who are developing a business in North America. We'll create a public group for them. So for that, we'll simply go to setup like this, and I'm already into setup. So like after going to setup, we'll type in public groups, and over here you can see public group. Just click on it and then click on new, and North America business development people group name. And over here you can see grant access using hierarchies checkbox. So if if you'll check this checkbox, then any record shared with the user in this group will automatically be shared with the users above them in the role hierarchy. And if it is unchecked, then the records which are shared with the users in this group using sharing rules will not be shared with the users above them in the role hierarchy. So it's totally up to you. You want to set it check it or uncheck it, and then after that simply go over here and select users. If you want to include any user, I want to include Paul Davidson because he's working he's a business development person in for North America in our organization. And I can also include roles like this. I want to include sales and marketing, like all the users who are on this role, SVP sales and marketing, I want to include them. Or VP of North American sales, I want to include the users who are on this particular role. So I'll add it like this. And if I want to include users in a particular role and all the users below that role, then I'll select roles and subordinates, and then I can select it like this. Like I want to include all the marketing team, then I'll select marketing team and add it. And if I want to include any other public group, I'll select public group and then add it. I don't have any other public group, so I'm not able to add it over here. And if you want to set any delegated administration groups over here, then you can also add it, and if not, then just simply save it. So this is how you can create a public group in Salesforce. Now, as you have understood that how we'll create a public group in Salesforce, let me tell you that only administrators and delegated administrators can create a public group. No one else can create. No other user can create a public group in user except administrator and delegated administrator. Now, what are you waiting for? The video is over. Hit the subscribe button over here right now. And if you're watching this video on Facebook or LinkedIn, there's a link down in the description or in the comments. Just hit that link. Go to the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button to get weekly videos all related to Salesforce with the Salesforce Hulk. So, see you next week. Until then, bye-bye. Take care.